Welcome back to Cozy Cafe Comic Studio once again. In the last video, that something is absolutely like Enzo and Echo's Comic Studio was completely terminated by this only one situation for some kind of that we heard at the post as well. And another bad news that the Fluffy City Comic Studio was also terminated that violates like anything as well because sometimes that characters within swimsuits are no longer exist in some kind of comic studios without any permissions for an unknown reasons for an unsuccessfully for unknown things for some kind of for a horrifying theft like some kind of character theft like those things as well. And because of around of the characters from these things for some kind of quite original as well, some kind of unknown reasons isn't going to be edited for like those things or advance of like those things as well, whoever for some kind of an unknown stolen content for any kinds of comic studios that who violates for around for some kind of original characters as well that since then as well. We're going to be reviewing for the Nori's username for around here in this comic studio. Perhaps that doesn't going to be for such as like anything as well. We're going to be review for this entire profile in comic studio, and we're going to be showing this why. So I'm at here at this Nori's comic studio, and it does not absolutely going to be saying for around anything perhaps for one thing as well. Cozy Cafe is only for the one thing that reason that might subject to go for round for the number one as well. That doesn't going to be for some kind of for making any sense for round for the number one thing. The most popular is Comic Studio for some kind of it was already Cookie Run Comic Studio for around here because absolutely that will be seeing for around here. Nothing original characters like this, which is absolutely violating for using studio crossovers, might going to get for something a close for unknown reasons for anything as well. For other kinds of comic studios who copy Cozy Cafe like those things, for stolen characters like the OCs and other kinds of things couldn't be for like any things as well. He's just completely swearing for a lot of times as well, and he's going to be reporting of this comic studio, including everyone of their support. So, we're going to be reviewing for this entire comic studio, and we're going to be about to see what is all of the user series. But let's start with comics that I just never seen this before, as we're trying to view all of his comics for a round of him as well, or anything as possibly as well, starting with the newest that I just told like we just completely saw like these things as well, even like under some kind of like those things that will be rated for around, I'm gonna be rated around for some kind of 5 out of 10 around almost all of those comic posters like those things as well, because of fairies are some kind of cringe as hell. And we're gonna be seeing for the hottest things that we didn't see in this but always knew for one thing as well. We're gonna be seeing it for around for the top ratings as like this things. The most popular could be for like this, including for some kind of Christmas from 2 years ago, or even that thing from as well. And because I'm not pretty sure, everything was some kind of an unknown cringe or something, and completely reposted or some kind of an unknown things as well. Like for a lot of votes as well. Last time he wasn't young like this thing as well for some kind of like these things as well. So I'm not pretty sure that we're going to be some kind of an this thing as well. His new self was absolutely over 18 years from now. His new look could be for like for some kind of like that thing as well. Except like even for other kinds of like things as well, that younger as well. The oldest video could be for even younger. Even for the latest video could be for a little bit older, but he was some kind of a little bit eld, but not elder enough as well. So let's get right here into the oldest comics like as well. As we seen this for the first thing, it was absolutely for around under 3 years ago. And that wasn't going to be for this sister as well. And I'm not pretty sure that wasn't going to be for a little bit for some kind of brother as well. So this is absolutely for one thing to come as anything as well. And this is where for some kind of like the first post that we ever seen this, and that could be rated around for about 7 out of 10 or some kind of 8 out of 10 of those things as well. Not even for these things that, unless for inappropriate as well, that we never seen this for around of those things, which is not include for such as supported language such as Spanish, for the Portugal like as well, even Korean and Japanese, or even ourselves like Chinese over here, including for such as many more of those language that Syrupy didn't support around as anyways, because he was scared about any other kinds of European languages as well. Don't you remember in the last video we just already talking about for this unknown situation about the case, and which is absolutely going way more insane than anybody has been reporting about of some kind of comic studios like the Fluffy City and Enzo and Echo's comic studio, and more of those comic studios as well. But up next is going to be even the user series, and it has like anything as well for trying to do this as well. So let's start seeing drawings and art, which is not pretty hot as well, even though this is ridiculously so cringier than ever that I'm not pretty sure that wasn't going to be for such as for 7 out of 10 as well. Even concludes like anime and stuff, like anything as well. It will be taking for some time to load it out for any more of those things as well. That was pretty hard to load and causing my internet connection to crash harder as well. As we continue to scroll down, I have never seen this for unknown sexual reference, and I never gonna be seeing like this whenever that what is going on around here. This is absolutely getting a little bit weird, and probably I haven't seen like anything as last Christmas as well. It's been for around over a year ago, and it has been for a lot of years ago, for some kind of for unknown decade like this as well. It's not probably for many more decades ago, like anything is not going to be foreseen for this thing as well. In other kinds of for any parts of the series, like anything as well, it has been crashed for since then for around here. For nothing since is not going to be going around here as well, because since we have already returned it back as well. Next up is Karato and Black Coffee Comics. So it has for 6 comics for around like anything as well. This is a little bit for around of a little bit interesting as well, and probably that should be going to be giving for this for around 6 out of 10. Next one is the Creator Comics, which is going to be a lot as 51 comics in a total. So in the total amount of like those things, this wouldn't be so perfect like anything as well. As we scroll all the way down into the bottom as well, starting with this thing as well, it has completely escaped or something as well, or this something kind of like anything interesting as well, instead of like anything as well, or some kind of matched skin tones. Whenever this could be Nori, and absolutely for some sort of for an unknown real person, as for an unknown suspect around of this thing, or whenever that we're going to be so around here for other kinds of things as well. Up next is horror. It's absolutely going to be for part 1 as comic for a light of those things as well. Turn into some kind of deadly monsters, and she was absolutely dead as well since August 13, 2024. She turned gone as well as a dying mermaid as hell. It has only 2 comics whatsoever, and it's probably limited. Next one is Internal Roads Redemption Arc, which is absolutely has 8 comics, but almost going to be absolutely for full things whenever it cost. But I'm probably sure that was gonna be a little bit underrated. but that must be for a concept art, as for some kind of murder drones reference. Next one is the head cons. That was absolutely going to be for a round of one thing overall. So it has for any kinds of like series of one ourselves. This is absolutely for an update chart, like one of the characters that he literally made since then, and some kind of early of those things as well, and some kind of a newest like things overall. Even that Nori has just made for some kind of pretty successful things, way pretty good as well, for over 7 out of 10, almost 8 out of 10 as well. Next up is for the relationship charts, and which is absolutely has two ones as well, and probably we already saw this since a while ago. And next one is the HIWH. It only has one overall. Could be for one overall as well, for some kind of unknown reference as well. Almost inappropriate as well. Another one is the cozy policemen's as well, which means the cozy cops could be for around cops as well, for some kind of police, unlike triceratops, like those things as well. Even though this is absolutely for some sort of a real case like them as well. Even it's absolutely going to be for a target hit as well. Even when she was a patient and she was back in patrol or something as well. Or even for this, the final of the part as well was for an unknown assassination. She went back home, or all ready for a final little bit as did. We're not going to be making for around for the shorts video as well. And it has 18 parts. And it was a limited series, I guess. Next one is his fan arts, could be for it is. So let's go for the fan arts as well. We might gonna be trying to review the cozy cops as well even later on. So this is absolutely for an unknown relationship as well. And this could be for the fan art again. He was living in Ireland. I know that wasn't not able to be for a South Asian like these things as well. He wasn't gonna be living in for the South Asians anytime as well. He was live in Ireland or some kind of other countries like them themselves as well. Another one for some kind of beach or some kind of like anything is as well for some kind of for a background as well. Next one is the Aftermath. And it has only 2 comics like them before. That was a little bit for some kind of for unknown stressing me out as well, for some kind of for an unreliable things is that I never seen this some sort of anime as well. Next one is the OC tips, and it has only 1 comic left that he just made pretty too much as well. And another one, that one Dandy's World comic, but with my characters, could be for around itself, like anybody as well. It has 7 comics that in a total like them as well. This is not actually like them as well, or anybody could be for even what it was. So this is not going to be for such a real thing that he just went for some kind of like these things. And also, which concludes Gacha Life reference, and which is not probably recommended to get all the way for that one, Dandy's World, the comic but with my characters. Next one is the Eternal Rose Babysitters, and could be even this one. It's over 5 minutes that I just recorded around in this clip, and that was a little bit pretty even good as well. And would the OC survive in this school? And it's absolutely pretty limited as well. So that is all of an entire of this profile user in Nori's account, or the Nori's user profile as well, even for this thing like anyways as well. So if you're gonna be checking this out of this user profile, the link is gonna be in description below around of this thing as well, but return it all the way for around as well for some sort of like this as well, instead of like going for around inside of for the Cozy Cafe Comic Studio was already a link in the description since this video, that way I just found it out. So it was probably in the description. You might going to be checking out with the Nori's account instead, like those things. I have reviewed it entirely, I guess. like anybody like to do this, because I just already did this again like any day, like probably for any time as well, or I'm never gonna be trying to do for the next video what it is. Thanks for watching, for all your support, and I'm gonna be signing off, and I'll talk to you mini lads and Comic Studio users and fellow viewers all later, as I'll be see you right here in 2 days before the next video comes right here for release. And also, we have already checked out anything as well. After that, we just completely reviewed for entire comic studios around here for some kind of as well. It has for some kind of 2 comic creators or something as well. The total that he has 121 following and 118 followers. And as you can see that, please for the description for as well, as you can see here, that it says please message me if you know about for Marudel. I'm begging you for around here, because pronounces is male for one thing as well. His name is Nori Elliot. Yep, that entire name could be Elliot as well, or should I say Nori Elliot. That was absolutely, it's not gonna be the actual name that I never seen for about to do this as well. But don't show your name off in the comics or like anything as well. Or please don't ever show to your actual name into your comments section below as well. Even that is absolutely, this is not going to be for real thing, of course, that what your name is. So thankfully, that will be it as well. So I'm gonna be see you right back in 2 days. That I'm just gonna be continuing working and still uploading myself as well until retirement by October 18 or the October 14. That since that's some kind of updated changes or some kind of been a while for a little bit of long time was probably whatever, that the video has run it all the way for over 16 to 17 minutes as well.